You are live.
Hey, party people, it's magic time. Welcome to the Power Hour with your host, Cristina and Brian. We are so excited to see all of you or to be seen by all of you, and we cannot wait to unlock this episode. About this episode, I just want to let you know, Cristina and I, we've been battling it back and forth about what we're going to talk about today. Like, both in toes. I mean, yeah, I know Christina's reaching that coffee. She's like, give me a straw
No
so I can.
coffee.
No, what is it? What is the drink?
Honestly, my friend Josie has got me on these protein shakes. There's this place over here. It's a banana bread meal replacement protein shake, right? And I added strawberries because strawberry banana bread is it's my new favorite craving lately.
All right, so I got to ask you, like, how many grams of protein is in the bad boy?
I'm a really bad person. I didn't even look. I think it's over 24.
That's crazy. All right, so
I mean, look at
everybody,
this. Bigger than my head.
Okay, all right. So real quick, I am monitoring what's going on LinkedIn on this monitor over here. So I don't mean any disrespect. Cristina is monitoring over her shoulder what's going on TikTok.
Over here.
Shout
out to LinkedIn. We're connecting you guys together.
Yeah, so we've got, so real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the 47 people who are partying with us in the room today. We're excited to have everybody. As you know, we are doing this on TikTok and we're doing this on LinkedIn, which kind of goes with today's theme. And it kind of adds to the flavor of what we were trying to wrap up with our deep dive into Gary Vaynerchuk's Day Trading Attention. Fabulous book, awesome, stellar takeaways that we've got there. Cristina and I have got a few questions that we want to rocket through about TikTok. We want to talk about some things that are taking place with LinkedIn. And we want to answer your questions, right? So if you've got a question, you're on TikTok, shout it out to us. If you got a question, you're on LinkedIn, shout it out to us. Like you said, Jason Singer, yo, party people, we're ready to party here. Let's get this thing started. Cristina, you want to go first? Yeah, go.
First, before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything, I just want to say, Brian, your hair's looking good. We're looking good today. And I just want to let everyone know, we've made some updates. So we are working on our website right now, but we have finalized the name of the Unlocked podcast. So that's a big win for us. It's definitely part of the vision. So we are over 2/3 of the way through our LinkedIn page goal. I think we're at 80 something followers. So if you are here, we would love if you could follow our page, the Unlocked podcast. So once we just need just a little bit more, and then we'll be able to stream live from there. So that's one of our goals. And, if you are a YouTuber or into YouTube, follow us on YouTube and TikTok. And I throw a bunch of our cuts on there, and it's fun to see some behind the scenes. So follow us on our social medias, and I will throw all of those in the chat. But that was all I wanted to do, was that disclaimer. So take it away, Brian.
Hey, no worries. Hey, so we've got a question. Shasta Leary, what is your TikTok? Cristina, what is the TikTok?
Yeah, my TikTok is, so it's my name. So it's Cristina with no H, Cristina, the Connect, Cristina the Connect. And our TikTok for the Unlocked podcast is, if you look up the Unlocked podcast, you'll find us. But we still have the tagline or the @ of LinkedIn. What was it? LinkedIn Unlocked.live.
Yeah, .live.
I think it's LinkedIn Unlocked. And the reason for that is because when people are on TikTok searching for LinkedIn, we still want to be found. Our core still remains true.
Okay, so wait a minute. I want to say that you can also find me at the Brian Fink on TikTok.
Absolutely.
But Cristina,
yes.
you talk about being found. Let's start this conversation about comparing being found on TikTok and being found on LinkedIn, because I feel that it's much easier to be found on TikTok than it is to be found on LinkedIn. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, guys. Being found on TikTok is, I think it's perceived to be easier. I don't think either platform is easier than the other. I think they're both equally hard. You definitely need to put some effort and work in. Nothing is just gonna grow. You need to put your seeds in and water your plant and watch it grow, right? So I think that TikTok has a lot of attention right now. I think that LinkedIn has struggled with keeping the attention of its users at such a high price.
High price. Wait a minute. Is that a backhanded high price? Like,
yeah, it is. LinkedIn. It is kind of. It honestly, anybody that knows me knows I love LinkedIn. That's all I talk about. It's the reason why we started this, right? But I got to tell you,
right? Yeah.
As I've grown on LinkedIn, I have, in the middle of COVID, I started doing TikToks. LinkedIn needs to hurry the F up because they're losing market share.
Right? Video beta is a thing, but what's going on with that?
Who knows? And the lack of transparency.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn doesn't want to teach you anything except, I mean, they don't. Like, let's lean into this for a second. Is that, Cristina, when it comes to TikTok has a flurry of different analytics that are available for you on day one, as opposed to LinkedIn, where you've got to get to 10,000, where you don't unlock the full creator suite until you get to 10,000 people. You've got limited views in terms of how your content's performing. The 10,000 limit?
Not anymore.
Wait a minute. So here's the deal: is if you don't have 10,000 people, you can't have a newsletter.
Nope.
They changed that.
I don't want to.
Well, can you so real quick, when you go to LinkedIn and you've got creator mode enabled, two of the features that you can do is you can do a LinkedIn Live like what we're doing right now, or you can do an audio event. But I thought that you didn't have access to newsletters or to creator page if you didn't have 10,000 people. Is that right, wrong, or indifferent?
I think they dropped that.
Interesting.
Because as some people know, I do graphics and other things on the side, and ghostwrite and that kind of stuff. So I have seen the inner workings of many and the once you fill out some things, it unlocks, and then it unlocks, and then it unlocks. But like the basics of like LinkedIn is like having your profile picture, your about me, your skills. Like Brian, for instance, I don't even want to say this, but I was looking at your profile earlier and you only have 3 skills tagged. Remember when we were like, oh, the skills are gone, now they're back?
Now they're back, right? So like skills is an interesting thing to put out there, especially when you're talking about LinkedIn hashtags, right? Like,
exactly.
We understand that you can have up to 5 hashtags in a profile, but you also want to make sure that you're not exceeding 5 hashtags when you're posting relevant content, because of the hashtag analytics that are provided by a website like sproutsocial.com, where you get that information for free, or you can sign up for a 30-day trial. Just to let you know, Sprout Social is not a sponsor. They're just a tool that we use to dig in and find out how those hashtag choices are more empowered on LinkedIn or an email or on Facebook. Speaking of which, Facebook, love you, but I got banned today for posting some content about LinkedIn. They flagged it as
I'm gonna get you, Jamie.
Yeah, they flagged it. It was pretty funny, yeah. So yeah.
At least it was Facebook that flagged you.
I know, not the gram,
like,
right?
All of them, like that's a little subtle jab for you. But I have someone on TikTok for you, Brian. Okay, so we have Jamie, who Jamie has been helping me a lot. Also comes from my previous work experience in the local Greater Detroit area. She mentioned you, and she says, I feel like LinkedIn is for business networking and talent, and TikTok is being interactive. I've been following Brian for a while. Love that you guys are connected. You're good. Take your time. I'm listening. She's awesome.
All right. So shout out to you for being awesome and sticking with us for as long as you have. Daryl, we're going to get to your question in a second. Thank you for the compliment. That'll get you everywhere. But about the question that you were raising about that content, about that engagement, I'm curious. There are a lot of businesses that say, bring your authentic self to work. So does that mean that you're supposed to be your inauthentic self from 9 to 5 when you're keeping it real on LinkedIn? Or does that mean that you're supposed to keep it authentic 5:01 p.m. until 8:59 a.m.? Like, I'm very confused about that, right? Like,
are companies asking people to be authentic?
Well, so I used to work for this social media company. We'll call them Twitter because that's what they used to be called, right? Is that Twitter was very much a proponent of bringing your authentic self to work. I'm going to do a quick lookup and just kind of see, businesses that have bring your authentic self to work in their mission statements. There's Whoa. Okay. So companies like Quora or the Society of Women Engineers or Reddit, these are questions about bringing your authentic self to work so that you can have an open, honest, positive, helpful, sensitive, constructive communication. KeyBank or Key.com. There's Evolve MD. Yeah, there are a lot of companies that use bring your authentic self to work, or bringing your authentic self to work, or how you can be your authentic self in the workplace in their mission statements. And I just did a real simple search. I just did bringing your authentic self to work in quotation marks to see what I could get. So, that's awesome. That's a good call out. I really appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, about bringing your authentic self to work, maybe that means that you're somebody who, for some people, like, I know it's like wearing their Jordans to work, but those are, that's bringing a little bit of themselves and who they feel that they are and how they can enrich or be a culture add to their business. About the Jordans, wearing them to work, yes, I'm shouting out Destiny, who's one of my major baristas at Starbucks. She's the best. She has Jordans and Vans that she wears all the time to work. Shout out to Destiny. Thanks for keeping it real in my world. But yeah, like, bring your authentic self to work. It's a major theme, and it was a major theme that has really been something that has been part of the major ethos and social. On a different note, who is this 25-year-old kid who looks like Brian? Daryl, I got 2 words for you: Orange Theory. I'm doing a lot of Orange Theory. I'm I'm probably hitting Orange Theory 1.5 times a day. No joke. Christina's got me on the watch. She sees me when I'm doing it. I just, right now, I'm just really trying to get out of my comfort zone so I can be a better dad for Maddie, so my head is clear and so that my body is around for a little bit longer time. Jason Singer, I love this. Can we get a dialogue about defining this phrase, authentic self? It seems that.
Can I read it one more time so that the people on TikTok can hear us? Okay.
TikTok, sure.
So the question comes from Jason Singer, and he says, okay, can we get a dialogue about defining this phrase, authentic self? It seems that the quirks of any given person could be called neurodivergent by some, would hit smack into the way things have always been done, which,
Jason,
yes.
I think what you're saying is that, bring your authentic self to work, I feel is a moniker for an organization that wants to add to the culture of the organization. I wrote about, this is really weird, man. I wrote about this morning on my LinkedIn newsletter, is that I'm tired of people weaponizing their culture, their organization to keep people out and to drive out others. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm back.
You said you're really sick of people or organizations.
I'm really sick of using the culture of an organization to drive people out. There was an
let's go there.
Torrin Ellis and I had a conversation on LinkedIn about this very subject today. And if you're not following Torrin Ellis or the Torrin Ellis brand, you need to take a minute to get with Torrin. That is a major powerhouse. He just finished up one of our forthcoming guests. One of our forthcoming guests is Adam Posner, who has the Pausecast. Shout out to Adam Sherm this week. But he just had as his guest Torrin Ellis and talked about DEI and the importance of belonging. And when I think of culture, I've been in organizations where culture has been used to root out performers who did not conform to a certain standard. I'm not talking about hitting your quota.
Story of my life.
Yeah, right. That's it.
Story of my life.
Daryl. Hey, Cristina, you want to shout this out for the audience? What Daryl's got?
Yes. Okay, so TikTok, so you guys can hear us. Daryl comes in. Daryl is also on TikTok. If you want to find him, Daryl, throw your handle into the chat. So Daryl brings up the point: is bringing your authentic self to work, quotes, right? Real, or is it like office snacks and ping pong tables? And I could take that one.
Well, girl, fired away. That is a hella question. Go ahead.
I would love for it to be genuinely true that bringing your authentic self to work was an actual desire of employers, but I do not believe that to be true at all whatsoever. I think that neurodivergence was brought up earlier. Jason Singer, I'm ADHD as heck. You guys, anybody who knows me, we ramble and we love to ramble, and we love that you guys tell us that we ramble on here. And that is my authentic self. And every interview, every person I talk to, I have a friend that calls me a run-on sentence. I have a potential clients, partners, collaborators that say that I am long-winded, need to be concise. That's just not me. Never has been.
So
I don't truly believe that companies are, they may say it, but it's almost like DEI and B, that they, put everything go to market, right? And then when push comes to shove, it's like, where did it all go?
Where to go? Where you at, Target? Where you at?
Where to go? Juneteenth passed, and it was like ghost town.
Grand closing.
The only major thing I noticed this Juneteenth was that my father, Ford Motor Company, gave their employees Juneteenth off for the first time. That was the only big. So shout out Ford Motor Company. Built Ford tough.
All right. So wait. Wearing that Camaro shirt. I want to bring this thing back around real quick about the authentic self, right? I think that the idea of authenticity is great in theory. I think it sucks in execution because people are afraid to be honest. And being honest also means that you have to set boundaries, right? You have to tell people, like, not only what you will tolerate, but what you won't tolerate, and being able to explain what makes you uncomfortable and being able to politely decline how you want to answer. It's not just being honest. I think the reason we fail at it is because for some of us, it's being honest half of the time and not establishing a true personality in the workplace or online or wherever we may be with our fellow employees. Cristina, what do you got?
Yeah, I gave my piece, and Daryl agreed. So I'm on to. I just don't think that. I think it's just a phrase that companies are saying. I think that the first person to get close to leadership and raise their hand about the effectiveness of a process is going to get their hand slapped, especially in this current time. And that's just what I think. There's no fact behind it.
Well, wait, I think there are facts behind it. Is that I think we can see cause and effect, especially when Shasta makes a comment, don't get me started on Target. Is that Target faced an enormous backlash last year during Pride, an enormous backlash. Where's their voice today? This was a company that took a very proactive conversation when George Floyd, when George Floyd was murdered, right? So I don't know. I don't want to beat up on Target. Like, I love Target.
I don't want to beat up on Target either, because I love Target, but I also get that as well. And this is a safe space. We can all love and hate Target. We don't have to agree on the same things. But I did see LinkedIn news when inflation went up, Target was the first one to slash prices, probably because of the backlash.
I don't know if I can connect those two.
Well, I don't know. In my mind, sometimes I like to tell myself little things, little stories.
Well, I think it's good to tell yourself, right? Like, so real quick, okay, we were going to have a conversation about TikTok, about TikTok versus LinkedIn. Yeah, we've got a lot of things. Oh, Jason Singer, it's a great call out. William, thank you for making that comment. How do you lever these messages to the executive leadership team, or ELT, people when they do not seem to listen or care? Cristina, do you want to repeat that for the TikTokers?
Yeah. So TikTokers, it's William. What is William's last name?
Just William.
Or you know what? Let's just leave it at William, because I don't know what privacy things we're cross-functioning. So William said, how do you lever these messages to executive leadership teams when they do not seem to listen or care? And that is the current question at hand. And is that a loaded question?
I show them the data. I show them that organizations that embrace diversity and inclusion, that those companies tend to be more financially resilient. That they typically, it's a Harvard Business Review study that I can drop in the chat if you want to see that. Those are conversations that I have with people. I have conversations with people about, do you want to get things done, or do you want to do things the way they've always been done, right? Like, diversity is the friction that creates the fire that enables us and emboldens us to build new products and new innovations for organizations, right? So, there's studies internally, externally, that I can show to my leaders that when I'm having that kind of conversation, there's data from Talent Neuron that's going to cost you money if you're in the TA space that you can look at. There's data that you can look at justicemap.org, where you can go in deep and you can see those pockets where there's more diversity in terms of wealth and a seed of an idea of abundance instead of scarcity mindset. And I really think that that's actually what a lot of this comes back to, is that people assume that that one group has to lose something for another group to gain it, right? But like, if you operate from an abundance mindset, everybody can grow things together.
I'm sorry, Jamie just came from TikTok to LinkedIn to our stream. So that is how you build a relationship, okay? That's how we do it over here. Cristina, the Connect. Boom. Sorry, let's go back here.
No. It's cool. It's cool. Jamie Lynn Fleece, or I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Jamie Lynn.
Yeah. You have a HR department that makes people comfortable to approach them with issues that in turn takes those issues back to the executive team side. Jamie, I never used to either, but welcome to the big show, right? Like all people, all places, all frequencies. That's what we're tuning into today. So thank you.
We love that. TikTokers coming to LinkedIn, going to TikTok. Let's just keep crossing, okay?
Yeah.
That's
all right.
awesome.
So we're having
Jamie,
fun.
Live is awesome. We always have a lot of people come, and I think that you're going to enjoy attending. We do it weekly, every Monday. This is the Unlocked podcast, and we are growing. And this is awesome because we have people coming from TikTok to here for it. Okay, so speaking of TikTok, can I just plow and just dump of, I love LinkedIn. Everybody knows I love LinkedIn, but Brian, is resistance a little bit
resistant to the talk. All right. Yeah. But here's the thing about the talk, Cristina, as I said this at the top of it. One of the things that I like about the talk the best is that I get analytics. I know what people like. I know what people don't like. I know down to the second that they tuned me in or they tuned me out is that I know that I lost them after 3 seconds, right? Like, dude, I put up a t-shirt the other. Yeah, but like with LinkedIn, I don't know how much time somebody spent on my status update. I have no clue. All I know is that they viewed it. Like, that's it.
Right.
Vanity metric.
I think that LinkedIn is doing the best they can right now to not be is Indeed like on its way out? Is it on its death wish or what's going on? But
all right,
I feel like LinkedIn is trying to stay relevant, and that goes back to the Gary V.
Well, relevant. I mean, like if you want to know what LinkedIn's going to do next, I made this joke to you the other day. If you want to know what LinkedIn is going to do next, just look at what Facebook was doing in 2012, right? like we now have. I remember on LinkedIn when we didn't have Messenger set up the way that it's set up. And instead, we had to go into our messages folder every time we sent a message. But now everything just ricochets back and forth and we get the notification, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's totally Messenger from 2012, right? Like, games. I mean, come on.
What are these games? Sorry.
Games? Stop playing these games. Stop playing these games.
The games don't make any sense. Unless I'm missing something. And I've gone deep into the learning, and I have ideas and conspiracies of how everything connects, right? The games just don't fit anywhere. I don't even get them.
The games are aimed to keep you into the application. Because Cristina, there was a great comment that was made by Shannon Pritchett over at Hire Easy. Hire Easy, hello, we love you. Dan Harton, we can't wait for recruiter therapy on Thursday. But she made a point and she said, how much time does the average user spend on LinkedIn each month?
Do you know that number?
Yeah.
Give it to us. Unlock it.
It's less than 3 minutes.
It's the average user?
Yeah, average user. Let's take a look at it. How long does the average user hang out on LinkedIn?
Jamie said that on TikTok she's testing which platform has the best user experience for live, and she just testing and seeing what platform is the best. TikTok for sure as far as user experience.
All right, so real quick, there's a company that's called Skillademia.
Skillademia?
And it said 10 LinkedIn statistics that Skillademia, like Skrillex. 10 LinkedIn statistics that every marketer should know in 2024. LinkedIn users spend 7 minutes and 38 seconds a month on the platform.
7 minutes. Interesting.
7 minutes, but 7 minutes, 7 minute confidence journal, right? But the thing is that number actually is actually focused on the global user base, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that is looking at including the 244 million LinkedIn users from APAC, Asia Pacific, and then you've got the Middle East and Africa and Europe that have 227 million compared to 185 million in the US.
8,500. Yeah, they're right about to hit 1 billion, right?
Well, I mean, are they real profiles? Like, I don't mean to sound like Steve Levy, but like, you know, has anybody connected with Darth Vader on TikTok? Because Darth Vader on TikTok is really funny, but Darth Vader on LinkedIn, they're like 7 or 8 fake profiles for Darth Vader, and somebody, and they're counting that in the daily active managed users whatever feed.
Well, is it wrong if that election is that not a vote of usership?
I don't know. It's like being Netflix and saying that you have like millions and millions of subscribers, but we know that everybody's sharing their password, right? You know, I mean, yeah, right. Bots, yeah, love that.
Sure.
Bots.
Well, I can tell you on TikTok, if LinkedIn allowed me to do what TikTok does, well, our audience would be huge right now, because on TikTok, I can make a short video or one of the cuts from our long live stream, right? Post that on TikTok, and then I can promote it. I can put money up against that to get more followers, more likes, whatever I want. If I'm promoting a product, the company can promote that product, and I also can boost it through promote and double whammy it to get more visibility.
Right? But see, what you're doing is you're testing the organic to make sure the organic works, that it hums before you put any money behind it, right? Which goes back to the whole conversation about analytics. I know that people thought the shit that I posted about the t-shirt that I found that said your email did not find me well. People thought that was hysterical on TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I want to sell that t-shirt, I now know who all to sell it to because I know all the people who watched it and how long they watched it, right? LinkedIn, I don't have that.
You don't have that where?
I don't have that on LinkedIn. I only got that like 7,000 people looked at it and like 138 people liked it, right? What am I supposed to do? Only sell 138 t-shirts?
It's very strange to me how LinkedIn, like how they operate and how they withhold information, release features without you know what I mean? Like it's just very secretive in the LinkedIn land.
So let's talk about that.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's talk about that 2 different ways, right? 2 different ways. The first way is that LinkedIn, like I said, is playing Facebook in 2012 in a 2024 TikTok world. So they got no choice but to catch up. All right. Number dose, the dose, right? Is that I published an article on Recruiting Daily today. Shout out to Recruiting Daily. I published an article about changes that are coming to the LinkedIn platform in August of 2024. Is that you are going to be at risk of losing your feed of jobs from your ATS if you violate some kind of esoteric rules, right? You know, that kind of scares me if you are an agency or if you're a company that's using an evergreen requisition. All these things are really scary that LinkedIn is cracking down now so that they can further monetize like Indeed did. And we know how that turned out for Indeed, because Indeed has gone through 3 sets of layoffs this year. big layoffs, not itty bitty, big layoffs, right? Is that they tried to
layoff LinkedIn went through. I already know it hit their sales team.
Yeah, it was a small layoff though, right? But Indeed was letting go of like thousands of people, right?
Well,
my point is, don't try to squeeze all the juice all at one time. Instead of ending up with a grape that has a little bit of juice left in it, you're going to end up with a smashed blueberry kind of thing that doesn't resemble anything.
And like, is Career Builder alive? Did they die?
They got a building in Buckhead in Midtown Buckhead, Atlanta.
Interesting. It's just like, I feel like the more that we've looked at the inner workings of LinkedIn and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and SEO, right? Like I think back to when I first started in recruiting, and it's like the tools I used religiously are no more. Like nobody uses those anymore.
Well, I mean, one of the things that you have is that in recruiting hell on Reddit, which is one of my favorite subreddits, is it talks about recruiting hell r/recruiting.
It's a Reddit sub.
Is that subreddit is that people have, people trash it, and then from an SEO perspective, when somebody goes to Career Builder, Reddit is one of the first websites that's indexed by Google. That's a huge deal for Google for SEO, right? So like, what do you think is going to happen? Like if somebody repeats, trash all the time, it's going to get SEO'd as trash if Google is indexing that site and if everybody's using it in their Chrome browser. But that's another for another.
So everybody attending, what's your number one question in regards to LinkedIn? If you could ask anything, like what's your question? I'm just going to throw that out there. And then also I'm going to say what I always say, drop your URL to your LinkedIn in the chat so that other people in the audience can connect with you and grow your audience. That's what I do every time I enter a session. So,
well, by the same token, if we're asking the questions about LinkedIn, Cristina, can we ask questions about what's our number one question about TikTok? Can we ask that? Like, let's just get the conversation flowing and going, because we've got like 10 minutes left and we want to make sure we're bringing maximum value for everybody in the house.
It always goes so fast. So TikTok as well. Yeah. LinkedIn, TikTok, what are your burning questions? Drop them in the chat and we're ready.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Don't be shy. Don't make me ask a question.
Oh, wait, I already cussed one time today. That was my limit, right? I got a limit. Yeah, more than one. We'll go back and watch the audio. We'll get on that scandal. We'll handle that in a minute.
Anybody on TikTok, if you have any questions, just drop them in. I fixed it so that you can comment. But TikTok, we're live on TikTok right now. We're live on YouTube, and we are live on LinkedIn and on TikTok. We got our
Alex. Whoa, Alex, what's going on, man? Thank you for asking that hella good question. Why does LinkedIn strangle recruiters' ability to grow their network? Dollar bills, y'all.
I think also we should point out the fact that LinkedIn has had recruiters by the chokehold, if you know what I mean, for as long as we've been recruiting. So why would they stop strangling us? Like,
but that's not 100% true. I got to defend LinkedIn a little bit there. Is that LinkedIn originally, before they created the InMail, they were just using native display advertising, right? But when you think about all the products that they built and all the variations that they have for individuals, most of them skew towards recruiters, right? Like, when you think about where does LinkedIn make most of its revenue, yeah, it's not the people who are spending $1,200 a year. It's the people who are spending $10,000 a year.
We have this question as well. Will LinkedIn unlock X-ray searches in the future? I'm going to give you that one.
Wait a minute.
Please answer that.
Wait a minute. What was it? What was the question?
Will LinkedIn unlock X-ray searches in the future?
X-ray still will. X-ray still works on LinkedIn. Do you want to? Hey, Christina, do you want me to show off real quick or no?
Yeah, show off.
All right. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna present.
And then don't worry, Daryl, we're getting to you after.
All right, share screen, entire screen. There we go. All right. Please let me reintroduce myself. My name is X-Ray. All right. So X-Ray is site:/link.com. And as you can see, I was doing some diversity searches, and I'm going to look for
hiding the search.
Oh, it is?
I had to take it off. Yeah, it was hiding the search.
All right. Does that look legit? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay. LinkedIn, she or her or Ella. And I'm going to say that I'm looking for females who have a Gmail address on LinkedIn who are account managers. Please let me reintroduce myself. My name is boom, boom, boom. There we go. We got Megan, we got Alicia, and we've got email addresses, we've got X-rays, here we go. We just X-rayed this, going into link. So X-ray works.
Is it safe to say that the death of X-ray is never, like, it's not happening unless we get rid of Google.com?
You could do it. You could change it. You could choose it around, but like, I mean, you can do X-ray on
remain.
I mean, like, you can go on Bing, the Bing.com, and you can still do X-ray, right? So site command LinkedIn.com/in, and I'm going to type in Atlanta CEO.
We got,
and there we go. We got all people that are CEOs in Atlanta, and they're coming up on Bing. Yeah, so that's it. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna go back to the podcast with you. Was that helpful?
Yeah. Yes. He said groovy.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Right, so now we got Daryl over here saying, on TikTok and LinkedIn, people connect but do not engage. Are the reasons different? What do you mean they connect but they don't engage? Because I don't know how to do that. I don't know what you like.
Okay, Daryl, I want to dissect this just a little bit, right? Because I think we're a little confused, and I want to help us out because we want to give you the answer. On TikTok and LinkedIn, people connect but do not engage. If you don't engage with me on LinkedIn, like, I have this thing that I do that I call the Hot 100, that like I go through each week and I get rid of 100 people on LinkedIn because they didn't respond to my message. And those are the people who are first connections. And all I'm doing is send them a simple message. I'm using a tool called Get Magical. It's GETMAGICAL.com, Get Magical. And like, it allows me, it allows me to drop messages and cut and paste like a text expander. If you don't get back to me over the weekend or like by the next week, I'm cutting you from my network, because like I'm reaching out to you. I'm saying something like, I hope you have a great Friday. I hope you'll have a great weekend, positive vibes. How are you doing? What's going on in your world? If you just want to collect connections, I'm not your dude.
Yeah. I agree. A lot of people, I mean, I've had both ends of the stick of the connections, and like, oh, you have a big following, and oh, you don't have a big following. And, it depends. It's all perception. It depends what you're seeing it as. I feel like the amount of people that I am connected to is the number of people. It reflects my brand, because I genuinely connect with my connections. Like, a lot of people know me, and I make it a point to make conversation with everybody. But I'm not at that level like you, Brian, where I'm out there deleting people just because they're taking up space.
Dude, I mean, all right. So hold on. Here's the deal. Taking up space. I'm gonna be real honest with you.
I'm looking for. Thanks for that.
No. So like, hear me out on this. Who wants to just take up space? You got one life, right? Like, I realize that like there's a digital identity and there's a page in a Rolodex or some shit like that. But why do you just want to take up space? We are all here to be bigger than we are. Like, maybe it's that abundance mindset that I have, that I want to drive innovation, that I want to drive building, that I want to help people grow. I want to help people go from better to best. Dude, why are you here just to take up space if you don't want to push the limits, if you don't want to challenge the status quo, if you don't want to do the right thing and you don't want to do it right now? What's the point?
So I think for me, like, I go through and withdraw connection requests that I've sent out. And that's kind of my similar way of keeping things nice and neat. I haven't gone through and looked to remove people from my LinkedIn following, because I have a voice, and I have something to say, and I want people to hear it. So, but I do keep an eye on how many invites I have going out. And there are a few, like, typically it's C-suite.
Well, Cristina, it's like I taught you with the phone, right? Like, on my phone, I have one lock screen that is my LinkedIn QR code, so that when I meet in person, I just go bam and I throw it up there, and I'm like, we should connect, right? And that's a person that I've had a genuine connection with, right? Like, I mean, I will be honest with you, Daryl, there are days when I say to people, how are things going? And people are like, Brian, things are not all puppies and rainbows. My boyfriend just broke up with me. I'm not happy. And I'm like, what can I do to help you, right? If you honestly want to do the right thing and build a good network, you got to turn on that good character. You got to assume that positive intent, and you got to be there when people need to lean on you. All right. Number 2, Jason Singer, you want to talk about Get Magical. All right. So if you're having trouble that you're not able to send more than 20 clips at a time, you let me know. I will introduce you to the people at Get Magical who will solve that problem for you. We will nip that in the bud today, brother.
So TikTok is going, we're able to collect things, which is one of the reasons why I like TikTok, is how we collect banners on LinkedIn. We can collect, we're just running it. Jamie's just going, just liking like crazy. Yeah, we can do that kind of stuff over there. And collect like NFT looking things, which brings me back to the graphics. And I just think that my advice is to play around with every platform, even the people that are resistant to artificial intelligence. Like, I get it, but
I don't get it.
Is it scarier trying something that you're scared of your data or whatever, or not trying it because you're scared, and then the whole world becomes geniuses at it, and you're the one stuck out because you didn't give it a try.
Cristina, you are exactly right. Like here's where we're at, is that people are not going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. They're going to be replaced by people who use artificial intelligence. Like that thing is going to happen.
Alex said, I had 1,000 connection requests to recruiters go unanswered over 6 months. I withdrew those requests, but recruiters are apprehensive and kind of lazy. Just sucks. Different perspectives of recruiters not engaged. Listen, we'll be the first to admit that recruiters get a bad rep. We do not speak for the whole.
There are a lot of recruiters that are doing exactly what Alex says. Alex, as recruiters,
I had to chase LinkedIn around.
Dude,
sorry, I love you, but I'm going to call you out for that.
All right, Cristina, go for it.
What you drop that bomb? Because I will.
Dude, you dropped the bomb on me, Cristina.
So I have been. Well, how much time we got here? We got 8 minutes. I was recently interviewing with LinkedIn. Yes, me with LinkedIn, the actual company, and it was for a hybrid account director role, and that right there was a win for me. For companies to recognize me at the director level, given my almost 10 years of experience in recruitment, it's about time I get closer to like that director VP level. So I was really excited about that. So thank you, LinkedIn, for giving me that first experience of consideration at the director level. Love you for that. But I had a great recruiter. I can't shame the recruiter, but also when you say that you're going to get back to somebody on a Friday, Monday, Tuesday of the following week, and you know that you're a recruiter for a company like LinkedIn, like, do what you say you're going to do. I had to.
Dude, let's have a big conversation about that. Is that I don't think that a lot of companies realize that they are consumer brands. Okay. Everybody knows me. My favorite consumer brand is Apple. If they made dress shirts, I'd be wearing Apple dress shirts. I wouldn't be wearing Tom James, right? So here's what's up. Every brand is a consumer brand. You've got to respect your consumers. You got to respect consumers when you're having that conversation with them as a candidate. You've got to go the distance, because that person is a buyer. That person is not just a candidate who's interviewing for a role. They are an active buyer on something that you are going to be selling today, tomorrow, in the future, that is going to make to be happen, and you're going to make it happen.
Jamie on TikTok said follow-up is the most important. Resilient communication, all caps, right? Like
follow-up Friday.
A lot of recruiters are not thinking about, the way that they're working. Their work is their word.
Cristina, a lot of recruiters are twisted because they think they're in the yes business, but they're in the no business. Okay. If you post an ad and you have 2,000 people apply to it, how many people are you going to hire? 1, maybe 2, maybe 3.
Are you actually going to hire from that ad?
Well, okay. Wait a minute. But how many people are you going to tell no? You are going to tell.
In this market, you have to like reach back out to the recruiter, like at an established company like LinkedIn, just for them to give you a response. And then that auto-generated, you've been rejected comes through. And I'm just like,
I was waiting for it.
So much more from you guys, and that's why I say, do not glorify your idols, don't look up to people or things, or just don't do it.
Well, it's like Gary Vee says, if you want to be happy, have no expectations.
It's like J. Cole says, no role models, and I'm here right now. I had to. But
dropping that.
I think, yeah, LinkedIn is overpriced, period.
No, but is it overpriced or is it underpriced? Because you talk about free tools and then you talk about the paid part of it. And Alex talks about the 1,000 people that he reaches out to. Real quick, shout out to Alex. Alex, if you're hitting out 1,000 people a month, you're hitting that 200 plus limit that you can invite each week, and you're maxing that out. You'll be growing your network at no time at all, right? But dude, like, do you really want to be connected to that many people? I mean, like, I know that I've got all these
many recruiters.
Dude, I mean, like,
Jamie from TikTok said, in regard to like recruiters and they're not their
stuff.
Yeah, their negative kind of tone to them. She said that recruiters, their word is their integrity. You need people to trust you, which is everything, that we talk about, relationship building and fostering trust. And, as a good recruiter, I'm sure, Brian, you hear this all the time too, that like, even when I am giving someone, the rejection call, they're still like, you're the best recruiter I've ever worked with. Like,
she gave them a call. Do you know how rare that is? That is like super rare.
One last thing on Zoom interviews.
Dude, they're not neurodiverse. They're not neurodiverse friendly. I'm sorry.
And
I'm going to say.
100%. If I'm interviewing for a role and I know that somebody is looking at me, asking me questions that I'm not prepared for, and my ability to get to the next stepping stone in this role is dependent upon me acing this, all I can think about is their background, my background. Do I look okay? Do they look okay? Is that facial expression mean what I think it means? Like, I can go around and round and round and round. When original telephone calls, those interviews that I get when somebody calls me and I'm in my car driving and I just stop on the side of the road because I realize, oh, this is a recruiter, like with a job, right? I do so well on those interviews on the phone. You put a camera in front of me.
All right. So wait a minute. I think this goes back to something that we were talking to at the top of the hour. And that was about authenticity and about bringing your authentic self to work. Is that Cristina, if I heard you correctly, when you have a video interview, it prohibits you from bringing your authentic self to the conversation because you're having to wear a mask and act a certain way.
Absolutely. From everything from eye contact to, I tend to stare at people's mouths and the way that they move. And I've done some studies on NLP. Daryl knows we used to work for a guy that was obsessed with neuro-linguistic programming. And so I am aware of when people like look at, you know what I mean? Like I can spot when somebody's lying and stuff like that. And so I'm hyper aware of that in myself. And it often it makes me like lag on video for a job, if it's a job I really want. So yeah.
So I get that, and I understand that, and I think to Jason Singer's question, what about video interviews in general?
Yeah, it sucks. Period.
Dude, I've got such mixed feelings and so many reservations about this, right? Like,
actually, you know what? You bring up a valid point. From a business development standpoint, I love Zoom. I love a video meet. I do, because it allows me to, if I meet somebody in person and then I do a follow-up call with them, there is like a connectivity factor there in being able to see each other's faces, right? Like Brian, I haven't seen you in over a year and a half, but you look at us. It looks like nobody could tell that we haven't physically seen each other in over a year.
Yeah. So you bring that up, and that's a really good point. That's a good call out. My favorite thing though is that when I meet somebody that I've been Zooming with or Teams with or Slack video with, is that I'm always surprised, like how much taller they are than me. And like, it's like, oh, okay, what's going on with that? Right? Yeah.
So we got Daryl over here coming through. Sometimes recruiters only want the person they hire to trust them. The rest of y'all can kick rocks. It's not a good look.
It's not a good look, but Daryl, to that point, it's not about trusting just one person, just trusting the recruiter. You have to trust all the people that you meet with in the process, right? Like they are there, believe it or not, to tick a psychological safety box in your world. If they are not ticking that box for you, don't do it, man. Like it doesn't matter what the money is. It doesn't matter what the name brand is. Do not do that thing. No, zero.
And, you know, I kind of want to give a PSA from all the good recruiters, from me, you, and when a recruiter really is interested in a candidate, you're going to know, right?
I don't disagree with that at all. Like you're going to feel it. Like
you're going to feel it. You are totally going to feel it. And if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. Period.
No, you don't. Like you can't force. No, like I was talking to Maurice Morgan at Humans Doing the other day, and we were talking about the vibration that you feel in the galaxy or in the universe.
Oh yeah, and grounding. Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah, dude, come on, like
I'm literally sitting in
that is super real. Like I realized that compared to like AI interviewing and detecting whether somebody is lying or somebody is telling the truth, like I understand that's a thing for companies like Higher View. Sorry, that's not a swipe. I'm just saying that's a company I know that does this, but like, dude, like, I don't know. I just think that there's a tuning fork that after you've conducted so many interviews, you've placed so many people, you just know, like, you know, like when I look at somebody like Rich Rosen, who just, congratulations, Rich. We know you've placed over 1,000 people. We think that's awesome. If you're listening, Rich, we want you on the program. Is that when you think about that, he knows whether or not that person is going to be a cultural fit, a cultural add. He knows whether they're going to be a skills fit. He knows how all those pieces come into play.
It's too late in the game to be throwing culture fit around.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, I've written a few pieces lately where I've been very critical of cultural fit. And I think that some of the conversation that we've had here today that's been led by Alex and Daryl and Jason and
TikTok,
and Will and Jamie and I think this has been a really holistic conversation today. All right, Cristina, you want people to follow us on Spotify. You want people to follow us on TikTok. We just realized that we went over time. We've had a lot of fun with you.
Some of them are changed, some of them are not. We're going through growing pains live with you guys. Just bear with me. We will get through this. So follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube. It is The Unlocked Podcast. Now, if you go to TikTok, if you look up The Unlocked Podcast, you will find us. However, our actual handle, is still our previous name of the LinkedIn Unlocked.
We're working on it.
It's intentional to drive LinkedIn users that use the TikTok platform. So we're not changing that one anytime soon. But Instagram, we don't even have an Instagram.
We're not on the gram. If somebody wants to help us on the gram, maybe it's a conversation we have next time. If Joel Loud come on the show and talk to us about the gram. Joel, I'm not putting any pressure on you like you did for me to be doing Global TA Day, where you just dropped an email on me and told me, yo, Brian, this is your time and you will show up. But that's not a swipe. That's not a dig. That's just what happened. Yeah.
So we still want you, Joel. And next week we have the podcast on.
We have Adam. Adam is at Sherm right now. He's hanging out with a good friend of ours, Mike Wolford. They sent me a pic because I did a text message. They're doing their thing together. So Cristina, it's been awesome. Thank you for being the party people. Thank you for being the party princess. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. All y'all on TikTok, this is Brian, the Brian Fink. I'm glad to connect with you. Christina,
thank
you want to read
Jason
it out?
for the subscription on YouTube. Let's go.
So
See you on Monday with our special guest, Adam Posner. 4 o'clock Monday.
See ya.
Bye.